Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Ladies Wot Pod, episode 6. I'm Claire Jones, and I'm in the wilds of Cambridgeshire, whilst my esteemed colleague, Lis Saunders, is in lovely South Northamptonshire. Good afternoon, Liz.
Good afternoon, Claire. How are you?
I'm good. I'm very
leaning
good.
back because I've made myself too loud now. Having had complaints that I wasn't loud enough, now gone over the top and
Now she's
way too loud. Way too loud. So,
Yes, so Liz is looking very chilled this afternoon because she's trying not to be too loud.
I'm doing my
because
part-time
as you
job
all
as a
know, we
call
had-
centre.
Yeah, as some of you know, we had a few sound problems last week, so we're trying some stuff out. So hopefully this has helped the situation. So Liz, we need to talk about a brilliantly successful weekend for all our teams.
Yes.
Wins all round, which is brilliant. Let's start, of course, with the Investec Champions Cup. Just hold a moment. We are top of the league. Right, I got that out of my system.
Good.
And yes. And wow.
Friday
the roller
Night
coaster
Lights.
did go up.
It did go up.
Friday Night Lights, and it did go down, but fortunately ended on a high.
Yes.
What a brilliant ending. And our skipper, George Furbank, number 7, in the bag, 5 points to go with it. He's rocking and rolling. 2 lovely tries. The second one was just an immense piece of skill and power from the brilliant Tommy Freeman.
Yep.
Who, wow, is all I can say. That was
should never have been able to kicking skill, and then to take 3 men with him and then still make that offload. Shouldn't have been able to do that. That was just impossible. That skill was just immense. And for Thurbs just to be there on his shoulder in the right place, and off he goes. I think his face when he just could cross the line said it all, really. It was that Tommy Freeman.
I wouldn't know. I was on the wrong side of the pitch, but more of that later. Anyway, brilliant performance from our skipper. He played from the front foot from the off, and top performance. Also followed by a certain Mr. Courtney Lawes, who is just playing out his skin. His second man of the match performance in just a few weeks. The guy is just wow. It's just extraordinary the amount he's putting into the game, given the season that he's already had. What with the World Cup, he is playing out of his skin on another level.
And
from
also
what we've seen in recent years.
But and the giving back he's doing as well. Just in terms of spending time with the supporters and just having fun, which we haven't seen him do for so many years. Turning up in the TNT interview pod in the corner. I'll just come along and have a chat, without any shoes on, because he'd given them away.
So I'll go and have a chat with you guys.
Lovely to see. Absolutely lovely to see.
Awesome.
And what a performance!
That try-saving tackle on the diagonally opposite side. There's going to be a theme here with me. Diagonally opposite side of the pitch to where I was sitting, but just even I could see it was the most, because he got back from an awfully long way behind the play, and the guy who was tanking down the field was no slouch. And it's his ability to tackle and then spring to his feet and get round on side. It's just, the body strength and agility is just extraordinary.
And for that try-saving tackle as well, the rugby brain that man has to track where that ball was going to go, to know it was just, he could see the play coming out in front of him and just, right, if I go there, I'm going the shortest line. And I think everybody in the stadium, bar the bloke who was about to be tackled, could see Courtney thundering down there and go, oh, look, he's always got it. And the French bloke was completely, just no idea was possibly even more surprised than Al Waller had been when the Scottish bloke landed on him in the line-out. Well,
yes.
where did that come from?
A complete surprise.
Yeah.
And then the winning try was scored by the wonderful Tom Lockett.
Yes.
Loitering on the wing, in he goes to score. And so he makes his European debut, his ICC debut the previous week, and he scores the winning try this week.
Yeah.
Lovely lad. And well done him. It wasn't that long ago that he was playing in a certain place, Liz?
It was Bedford made him. That was Bedford made him, according to Sherpa number 2. Every time Tom Lockett's name was mentioned, well, Bedford made him, and quite possibly did actually, because scoring in that corner, that's where you aim for, running down the. Well, I say running down the slope. You start off motoring down the slope, and then gravity takes you at Bedford, doesn't it? So that's why he would have just thought, well, I'll just throw myself into this corner, and gravity will take me. Obviously, so but no.
Made in Goldington Road, literally.
Yeah.
I want to put I remember Tom winning a man of the match. My teeth seem to have gone a bit weird. Man of the match at GR, and he was absolutely made up to win it. And Chris and Kerry, his parents, were stood proudly either side of him as he, posed with his bottle of wine. But he has worked incredibly hard, and deserves all the success. But fair dues. Well done, Tom.
Still only 21, I think.
More of the same, please.
Yes, much more the same.
Just 21.
But,
just extraordinary.
Link back into Super Courts. You feel that there's a real sort of symbiotic relationship to youth. Very big words there, especially for the back row and second rows there. Between them, because Courtney is obviously getting so much from this bunch of lads enjoying playing together, and as he's sort of said, I want a part of that. It's so much fun, and I think after the England camp of the World Cup, this must be just such a change, and just so joyous. So he gets it from them, but then for young men like Tom Lockett and Mooney to have almost the security blanket that is Mr. Lawes there in always, and for all of them to have the security blanket of, sorry, you picking a fight? Have you met my friend Courtney? Look, he's looking at you.
Exactly.
Oh, you didn't want to do that. No, it must be superb.
Didn't want to do it.
Yeah. Oh, don't make him angry. Oh no. Oh, you've done it. Yeah.
Make him angry. No.
Yeah.
No. So, sadly, we have to mention that a few injuries. Our back line was quite remarkable by the end. We had two scrum halves, two fly halves,
and a partridge in a pear
tree.
A bit
unbalanced.
Yeah.
But we did remarkably well, and yes. But before we congratulate the debutant, we have to mention poor George Hendy. It looked a nasty injury.
It did.
We don't know the extent of it yet, because I imagine he's going to go for one of the inevitable scans. But yeah, it didn't look good, and he did celebrate with the team. Fair dues to him. He's pretty quick on a pair of crutches.
Yes.
He did celebrate with the team.
I believe his mother was going to have a word with a Frenchman at one point. I don't know if she found him.
I wouldn't take Mrs. Hendy on if I was that Frenchman. I'd be heading out the country.
Yeah.
Yes, and
so
then,
the worry
in the second half.
Poor Thompson, but just to go back to George Hendy, our concern is, given his unique running style comes from, as he describes it, having his legs on the wrong way round, that I hope some surgeon, if surgery is necessary, doesn't try and correct that, because that would be dreadful. One leg on the right way round.
Well, he could end up going round in circles.
He could. So, but let's hope.
Wrong leg could be.
Let's hope it's down to rest and physio. You never know. But yeah.
You never know. But it did, it
get well soon. Injury awkward. Number 1. Tom Seabrook then.
Injury number 1.
That looked awful.
Well, he got clattered, and because that happened in front of me, and so I ended up with a host of medics dealing with him. Again, don't know what happened, but was carried off quite early in the second half.
Yes.
And then Ollie Slightholme pulled up as the Freeman-Furbank interchange was going on. So we wish both of them well. Hopefully they are strains and nothing serious. But I blame Ben Kay of TNT.
Why not? Why
Because
not?
when Georgie's injury happened, he said we had a plethora of wingers to choose from. Well, we haven't now, thank you, Ben. So, you know.
Well, time.
Saying that, we have got a few great youngsters in the academy waiting to come through. So, you know, the likes of Will Glister, Ewan Baker, and Jake Garside, of course.
Jake Garside,
played the role of ankle clamp on a Barbarian earlier this season, and he did it very well.
Yeah.
And then the fastest one of the four I'm going to mention is Toby Cousins, who is blisteringly quick. So it will be interesting to see how the coaches approach this problem. The good news is we have having had a few centres out, we've now got the centres coming back.
Yes.
So I think Fraser was rested because he's had some pretty heavy loads.
Yeah.
And then we've got Mr. Odendahl, who was, I do love it. The phrase "travelling substitute at home game" always amuses me.
Yeah. He's had to travel to get there.
Warming up. Well, it's true. Yes, you're right. And it was good to see Hutch running around like yes, in a sleeping bag in the changing room.
Yeah.
Hutch running around like a spring chicken, fresh from getting caught under the Welford Road advertising.
Yes.
So it might be that Fremo ends up moving back out to the wing.
Moves out. Yeah.
And we bring in for the first time if Mr. Odendahl plays, and then decide what we do with the other wing. But it'll be interesting to see how they solve the problem. I'm sure they will, and they've done it very well this season. The defence. Oh my lord!
What?
Oh my lord! James Craig, Lee Radford. What a winning combination. Two men of Yorkshire doing the business. I mean, absolutely outstanding. I don't think Toulon knew what was hitting them, really.
Well, I think I think there was some sharp looks being given to Ribeye. You know, this isn't what you told us would happen. You said if we ran at them, they'd fall over. This is not. Well, look, we're being tackled left, right, and centre. And that man there, just tell him to stop. It's hurting. But yeah, I think they were just did. It was that same huge question mark over their heads that we'd seen with Glasgow Warriors and Sarries before. That what do we have to do to get through? What on earth will unlock this defence? Which is, it's new for us, isn't it? That it's No,
amazing. It's extraordinary. Absolutely.
I hope we've got Mr. Radford locked into a contract that means he can't ever leave, ever.
Your hours.
Yes.
Yes, I hope that. Yes, because
what's his favourite cake? Find his favourite cake.
Oh, good. Yes, good. Well, we'll come on to other food essentials
we'll come on
later
to pastries later. Yeah.
Yes. And then Toulon in their discipline. Well, two brain fart moments. You have to go some to high tackle Charlie Savala. The number 20 did go some and went for a rest. And then Ben Davis, fair dues to Ben Davis. I thought when I can't hear anything much pitch side, even though occasionally I listen on the radio. But I watched it later, and the explanation, the method he went through to go through both events, I thought was incredibly thorough. And Olimon must have thought he got away with one, but he hadn't. And so the inside centre went for a rest as well. So they're down to 13. The momentum had started to shift anyway.
Yes, very much.
And so,
which is why that high tackle came in, because they were desperate. They could see that the momentum had shifted. Can you see that momentum has shifted? But that was why I think Dowse said that in interview, that's why errors are made. And to be fair, it was the third deliberate knock on, at least.
Yeah, we'd had a few.
Yeah,
that they'd. So and then Tom Lockett goes in and the corner, and the place went nuts. And it's wonderful to hear the Gardens when it goes absolutely crazy. It was it was great to see, great to hear. I was sort of beetling around the edge of the pitch trying to get to the technical area before it all ended, because I was a bit torn. But anyway, I did make it in time, which was good. And we should mention that this evening Tom James is up before the beak. It would have happened on my wing, but genuinely I didn't see anything. It involves. I'm not even going to say what it involves, because we'll find out after the event.
Yeah.
But hopefully it's nothing too serious. But yeah, we wish Tom well in that review. Yeah. And then we congratulate our new Australian, Charlie Savala. Lovely, lovely man. Lovely man. Really enjoying his time. He's on a short-term contract with us, and he took his opportunity. I can't imagine he'd have thought, I'm going to make my debut in an Investec Champions Cup game where we've got to win it, and we've had several injuries, and I end up playing inside centre. I can't see he would have thought that was.
It's only in a cheese dream that's likely to have occurred, isn't it? Inside centre against Toulon. Why not? Yeah.
Why not? But he played exceptionally well, wasn't phased, has slipped into the Saints' way, is working incredibly hard in training. I saw him last week. He's working, and he's loving it. He's playing with a smile on his face. And when I spoke to him after the game, he's absolutely loving being with the Saints boys. Was part of the sing-song in the changing room, so he was one of the three.
Yes, one of the three.
This week, for those of you who haven't seen it, it was Drano, it was Charlie, and it was, of course, Mr. Lockett, who led the singing and did a magnificent job. So well done, Saint 2087. Not as I put on X 2086. Sorry, got it wrong. 2087. Mr. Hafar is 2086.
Just a quickie there. Lovely to see Trocky back as well. Trocking up the middle.
Yes. Blasting up the middle. Part of the Brains Trust with George and Beef in the second half, working out what they were going to do. That isn't a combination that you expect to see, but they were.
Sorry, could you run that phrase past me and those names past me again? The Brains Trust.
That'll be Mr. George Fairbank. Yeah, Mr. George Fairbank being guided by Mr. Gerardo Augustus and Mr. Ethan Waller. Not a combination that you would expect, but there you go.
No. Okay. It seemed to work. It worked. Brilliant.
And huge celebrations. Kira Ruddy, Lizzie and Liz, all hugs all round. Yeah, so that was really good. Lots of hugs from the coaches, lots of hugs from the players. Tom Bullock, another hug. So we all do love a good hug. So fantastic, and well played, the lads. They've had to learn some painful lessons in the last few seasons, but it's sticking clearly.
Absolutely.
So well done them. And then a presentation in the changing room, Liz.
Yeah. Very
important presentation, delivered by a somewhat confused Tom Quah. But what was delivered?
Made more ceremonial than anticipated, I think, by any of us. Thank you very much, Al. Pikelets for Curtis. Just freshly made pikelets for Curtis.
Rugby ball shaped pikelets.
Pikelets, Made that day.
Yeah, made with love and care.
Yes, yeah. I was going to say.
Yes. And much appreciated, I believe.
I believe so. Yes, he did send me a little note saying that they were really nice. So that was good. So I'm glad. And my husband had a discussion with Anna Litchfield about what is best to put on pikelets, which they were
coming up with. And the answer is?
Well, I cannot agree with them on this. Marmite and peanut butter.
Oh! Well, I like the Marmite, but you can keep the peanut butter.
Together.
And I'm not sure I put it on them.
Apparently, it's the food of the gods, but I'll leave that to them. And some people have only this week learnt what a pikelet is. Sue Waller, looking at you. Yeah. Apparently.
Yes, Mrs. Waller. Yes. Don't confuse your pikelets and your crumpets.
No, that's no. You'll be sadly.
I'll be doing that.
Yeah. So all round, every day's a school day, I think. So the pikelet's good. So we will see what happens. So yes, if Mr. Radford would care to nominate his favourite cake, I'm sure I could
let us know the cake. Right. Well, when I see him, I will talk cake. I will have a conversation about cake because cake is clearly important. I might get inveigle Lizzie, Goodchild, in this one. And then I suppose we ought to talk photography because that's what I do.
Yes.
I didn't have a quiet night. You never do, but everything happened on the other side of the field.
It was pretty much, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was a bit much. It's like over it. Now, I can't complain because it was becoming a bit obvious that, aim for the hat. In the early part of the season, everything was happening in front of me. So I felt very sorry for my colleague, Adam Gums, who was sort of watching jealously, what's going on over there. So Adam got his own back on Friday because everything happened in front of him. With one notable exception, and we're going to do something we haven't tried before. I'm going to share my screen because this one photograph has had an awful lot of reactions. So hopefully this will work. This photograph here. And it is Courtney at his very best, about 15 foot in the air,
awesome.
being taken out in the air, which won us a penalty. And I'm about 200 feet, about 70 meters from this. So it was in our half, I believe, this line out. So I am some distance from it. And normally they say in sports, 2 eyes and a ball. Well, I have got 2 eyes, but they're not the one with the player with the ball. I've got the player who's being naughty. But it is spectacular. And I was pleased. And I'm quite grateful, actually, that I got something. Even if it was this, but yes, thank you to everybody who's made nice comments about it. It's been stirred up a bit of a reaction.
It is an awesome photograph. You just say, "Who needs a cloak?" He's just, super courts there. I'm looking at the faces of Mooney and that's the what's his face?
Oliver, that's Oliver.
Yeah. Just going then. What? No. What? How high?
What's occurring?
How high?
The best thing is nobody's holding on to anybody. They're just sort of flying.
I know everybody's just sort of levitating there. Yeah.
Yes. So thank you for the kind comments. But that was my photography highlight of that game.
It is an awesome picture. I love it. Love it.
Thank you very much. No, that was good. And then Saturday. The other thing I should say is it didn't rain.
No, it didn't. It didn't
rain, so I didn't get wet, and I didn't need 15 million covers on my cameras, which was fantastic. Nor did I need to dry anything out, which was even better. So Saturday, Bedford played Nottingham in the Championship, and Nottingham are actually above Bedford in the table. They're flying, absolutely flying.
Wow.
Really high quality rugby. So this was expected to be a really, really tough test for the Bedford lads. So they went behind again. I mean, seriously, mates, get on with it. But they came flying back and played some absolutely brilliant rugby, aided by 2 young saints who we should recognise. Young Archie, they're both young. I don't know how I'm saying young. They're both young.
They're ridiculously young.
They're ridiculously
barely
young.
Out of school.
18. Yeah, we've talked about both of them before. Archie McParland and Henry Pollock. The Bedford crowd have fallen in love with both of them.
Yeah.
They adore both of them. And you can understand why, because they play. I mean, Archie's pass off the base is fizzing. It is fizzing. If you want quick ball, Archie's your man. Obviously, his game management, he's still learning. I mean, he's very... And it was interesting to see him deep in conversation with Alex Day, who replaced him in the second half.
The lovely Alex Day,
The lovely Alex. So Alex is clearly mentoring him while he's at Bedford. And I can't think of a better mentor because, he's a very experienced player, very lovely man.
Yes.
And Archie and he were deep in conversation. But Henry, on the other hand, is just irrepressible.
Labrador puppy.
Utterly irrepressible. He is. He just runs around madly, chucking a ball about the place to himself.
Yeah.
Scored 2 great tries. I got one of them. I didn't get the other one because I had a large Jordan on a Jaffe stood in front of me. It's very difficult for a camera to see round a large Jordan on a Jaffe, which was a bit sad, actually, because Henry did his best attempt to dive. All I caught was literally the side of Henry's head in my view. I didn't bother taking the photos because Jordan's bum's not that exciting.
You make it sound as if Jordan on a Jaffe comes in more than one size, but he is only one size, which is large. I feel
huge. Yeah, yes. He was waiting to walk off the pitch for half time, and completely forgot I was there. Charming is all I can say. Anyway,
that's very rude.
And completely blotted out the. Very rude, very rude. And Sean French scored some lovely tries, one of which was made by Henry Pollock, who beautiful run down the hill. It was all down the hill because it's the second half. But yeah, so it was a fine Bedford win and put Nottingham to the sword a bit.
Yeah.
Nottingham, who featured a couple of former Saints, Ryan Oliver Failer, if you remember him, and James Cherry, who briefly played for us at the beginning of the season. Lovely man, came to say hello. I didn't recognise him because he's had a haircut. So before the game, he looks at me knowingly, and I've got, I know you, but I don't know why. But I know, And so he came for a chat afterwards, and was effusive about his time at Saints, which was lovely.
Oh, that's nice. And Bedford was
great win.
Bedford was packed to the gunnels of future Saints and former Saints, wasn't it? Really, Jamie Elliott,
Alex
Day, James Fish, Jordan Onajaffe.
There are a lot of them there, and they are enjoying their time playing in blue.
Yeah. Playing
some really lovely stuff.
This partnership has worked so well this time, because I know it's been tried in the past and nearly didn't work so well, but this time everybody seems to be gaining from it. Bedford seems to be gaining from it.
Absolutely.
We certainly are gaining from it. Is it because it's just the two things? You've not got that distraction of the A-League where you'd get, you're trying to pull players to put in for that A-League, which, much as we as supporters used to enjoy it, was a bit of a nonsense and does mean that without the A-League, the young players can get a good run with Bedford, and you're not sort of messing people around.
The timing never worked with the Wanderers League.
No,
the A-League. The timing never worked because they were preparing for a Monday. At the moment, they're preparing effectively for the same weekend as the rest of the squad, and it is doing the squad a huge, because you can move if you need to. You can move players. Tom Lockett being, I think, the beneficiary of that because of some injuries in the main squad. So, but I think Bedford are playing some. So the Bedford boys, Joe Howard was man of the match, and rightly so. Fantastic performance from Flanker. Cam King is playing well. Ocean Heffernan is just having a blast. He's just wandering around with a huge, great grin on his face, playing tight head in the Championship. He's against his former club. He played for Nottingham. It was a great game. It was a really, really good game. And as Sam Roberts, the PA, said, fine example of top-class Championship rugby. So well done to both teams, but well done to the Blues. 5 points.
Would have loved to have been there, but because I love Goldington Road, but we were decorating the tree with the grandsons, so couldn't.
Well, it's that time of year. Yeah. And then Loughborough headed up to Manchester, Haywood Road, and secured a bonus point win, which after the previous travails against Bristol, well done, ladies.
Really, really
top work.
Good. Yeah,
I'm really fed up that I'm going to miss this weekend, but we'll talk about it later because of the clash of fixtures. But well done to come back. What was described as a disappointing loss with a fantastic win. So well done to them.
Really good, really good. The hard place, always the hard place to win.
No, no,
no,
we don't want that. Hello. Oh, my ear's falling out again. We need to talk media, don't we, Liz?
We do. Starting with
TNT being really nice to us. I mean, I thought it was the most effusive I have heard a TV company be about Northampton Saints in decades. I thought they featured what it's like at Saints. I thought some of the post-match stuff in particular, when they were saying nobody's gone home, they're all here still, enjoying themselves. Because it is one of the things the club talks about. Mark Darwin talks about it on the Saints show last week. Is they want people to enjoy themselves. Unlike you being shooed out the ground at Glasgow,
get out,
hang around. Exactly. It's not a football ground, for God's sake. They do hang around. They do talk to the players, and the players like it. And the opposition players, I think, enjoy it as well. So, So well done to TNT. I thought they talked really well. I have to say the interviews are a bit more animated and interesting than previous years. I think Dowse probably would have preferred it if he wasn't stood there quite so long. I thought having contract negotiations with Courtney Lawes pitch side was interesting.
And a new way of doing things, but if it works, it works. I loved. It
works.
I love what they did with Dan Biggar beforehand as well, sitting him in his old seat.
Oh, with Sarah.
Yeah.
Her eyes glistening, melting in front of him. Yes, and he was, effusive in his praise. For the Saints, sat in the changing room. The dancing dog, everybody, as you rightly pointed out to somebody, is a St. Bernard.
Yeah, for God's sake, Nick Mullins.
It's not hard.
Matthews into what? What on earth was that about? I don't know. He's a Saint Bernard.
We're not having that. We're not having that. But where there is success. I'm gonna go for a quick rant. Now, those of you observant will have noticed that Mr. Christopher Ashton was at the ground and seemed to enjoy himself while he was there. Really? I had the misfortune to listen to his Rugby Union weekly pod on the BBC today, and it was as if he'd never disappeared out of London. Not a flipping dicky bird. And seriously, Auntie Beeb, I love the BBC, but you do need to get your rugby stuff at the mothership sorted. The Saints show is fantastic. We all enjoy it. It'll be on tomorrow night. We'll all have a great time. We're recording on Tuesday, by the way. But Chris Jones, Ugo Monya, Danny Kerr, and Chris Ashton, it is not the Harlequins rugby pod. 22 minutes about one game is just not on. It's just not on. There was a lot to talk about this weekend. They did feature Henry Slade talking about his amazing performance again for Exeter, which was great. But there were some other fantastic performances from the Premiership sides, which didn't get a look. And this is supposed to be the BBC's flagship podcast about rugby in England.
Yes.
It isn't. And it's not good enough. It's got to improve. And I was disappointed in Mr. Ashton because I would have thought that they would have had a much better assessment of the Saints' performance than they did. Not good enough. NGE. Unlike Look East, who had a go, bless them.
They did have a go, but
Dr. Jones has taken to timing how long they talk about Cambridge United. Of course, I live very close to Cambridge United, versus how long they talk about Northampton Saints. Northampton Saints had a crowd of 12,500. Cambridge United had a crowd of 6. Relative timings, 3 times the amount of time. 6,000 at whatever it's called. Oh, that's terrible. I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, just down the road, down Newmarket Road, and they talked about Cambridge United for 3 times longer than they talked about Northampton. Seriously, boys and girls, not good enough. You can't use the excuse that it's people are more interested, because they're clearly not, because they're not turning up to Cambridge United games, and Cambridge are having an awful season at the moment. So please, can we, improve our rugby performance on Auntie Beeb? It's not good enough.
Yeah.
There you go. Rant over.
Good.
We had some good news today, though, didn't we?
We did. Really good news. Oh, because we've missed out. We talked about the match. We didn't nominate a...
We haven't picked our player of the
match. The match, which is why...
Liz, you're absolutely...
Which is what because this is one of the... Well, actually, any one of them could have been in the frame. But I thought this young man on Friday night was really... He was a machine. He was... So we're going to discount Courtney and George Furbank, because we could award those, and Tommy Freeman. They're going to get all the plaudits. We're looking at the others to make it fair.
The guys who do the unseen grunt work.
And I thought Sam Graham on Friday night was amazing. The work effort he put in was just incredible, and he's just grown up and grown with the game so much since he came to us, and so I'm delighted that he signed a new contract. Really, really pleased, and smashing young man, and played a blinder. So who do we think then for player of the match?
Oh, I think you've chosen him. I think Sammy G is absolutely a top bloke and absolutely played his heart out on Friday.
He did.
He came off in the previous game with a hip problem, and I don't think it's fully fixed. I think he's having to manage it. So, to put in the defensive efforts with a dodgy hip that he did, outstanding, utterly outstanding.
Yeah.
He's a man who's clearly come to the club to learn. He's come absolutely from the Championship, where he skippered Doncaster Knights. He's come with an open mind to learn exactly what it's all about in the Premiership, and he's listened and he's learned, and he's now reaping the rewards. And so, absolutely, I was over the moon when I saw he got another contract, because he's a lovely bloke. He's loving his time at the club. Dr. T wisely said, he's another couch, isn't he? Sam Dickinson. Sam joined us from the Championship and became the stalwart at number 8 in the Premiership winning side. And I think Sam is of that class.
Yes.
Though it didn't take a year being on the couch in order to get him there, which is why he's called Couch, because they were very mean to him when he broke his arm.
He broke his arm, didn't he?
No, Sam has come in. Yeah, but he is in that vogue of a Sam Dickinson.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, brilliant. So over the moon that absolute grafter. Absolutely. Yeah.
And I suspect that the Lee, again, to come back, the Lee Radford and Jamie Craig way of coaching will suit Sam Graham down to the ground, because they're direct. They tell you what you want. They don't tell you what they think you want to hear. They tell you what they want you to hear. And that, for somebody like Sam Graham, that's just going to be perfect. And I think it's showing. I think it's showing for all of them, really. The communication is so good.
Yeah.
So, brilliant. Well done. No, I'm so pleased.
So well done, Sammy G. And I imagine we've got more announcents to come in the coming weeks.
I think that's just here's your early Christmas present, and they'll
what a lovely Christmas present it is.
Yeah.
So on to this weekend, my friend.
Gloucester. Yeah.
Gloucester.
Yes.
The plastic pitch at Kingsholm. That sounds all wrong to me.
It's not right. They've sold their soul there.
It's not right. A lot of change going on at Gloucester. They've had two reasonable wins in the Challenge Cup, because they finished 9th last year.
Yeah.
And so they'll be hoping that they can build on the momentum from the Challenge Cup. We just want more of the same, please. Which is quite a lot to ask, given the amount of effort that they're having to put in. I think it's going to be. There's been a lot of change at Gloucester. New CEO, Alex Brown. There's been quite a lot of angst. Skipper has decided to stay. Lewis Ludlow, over 200 performances for the Cherry and Whites. So it's going to be interesting to see where we go.
I'm still, watched Saints for so many years. You're still waiting for the crash and burn game, aren't you? It's sort of.
It's that roller coaster. We can't get off it. And up and then down.
Yeah.
And then up and then down. Yeah, we can't. We can't get off the blooming roller coaster. But
I wish I could go. I wish I could go, but unfortunately, members of my family are coming that day. So, it's part of Christmas starts for us, so we can't go. If anybody's thinking that they might want to go, I think there's still some few seats left on the Saint Supporters Club coach. So and they're planning to hold a Christmas raffle. So, get yourself along.
I see. And you had quite a few visits on Friday that we haven't talked about as well.
Visits on Friday, did I?
Mr. Hill, for instance.
On Friday, Saint Supporters Club, yes. So, yes.
Friday. It's not that long ago, Liz.
No, I'm sorry. It's my age. Yes, well, we managed to get Topsy Ojo and Ben Kay to come and visit us at Saint Supporters Club gazebo and presented them with a Supporters Club badge. And actually, Ben Kay looked at it and I said, well, you could give it to Austin as a Christmas present. And his reply was, no, but then I'd have to talk to him. Well, yeah, true. So Topsy said to me, well, you could give it to him as a Christmas present. I went, I refer you to my friend's answer to the earlier question, but then I'd have to talk to him. You could give it to him as a Christmas present. And Topsy went, why would I want to do that? Well, that's a good point. Fair point. So, no Christmas presents for Austin. And Ben Kay said he had got friends who are Saint supporters and they'd love it. So that was nice. And I reminded him that Tommy Freeman had been in the Leicester Academy. I know. And then Richard Hill, what a lovely man. So he came along, had his photograph taken. I didn't interrogate him as to who he was looking at because, to be honest, it could have been any one of our England qualified players. I think they're just, but I did say, if you must take them, please don't break them because we don't like them being broken, particularly mentally more than physically. So we will see. But nice man. Do you know he nearly signed for us, Richard Hill? 19 years ago.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, nearly signed for us, but there you go.
That would have been very interesting having him in the back row. Wow,
it would have been. So
him and blowers, eh? Ooh,
but he
that'd
still
been tasty.
So that's nice. So he was lovely. So it was star-studded on Friday night. But, so it's supporters.
Excellent.
So,
well, I am going to Gloucester.
Lovely.
Sherpa One, Dr. T, and I will head down to the Gloucester. It's quite a tough ground to work at, it's changed over the years. Yes.
Light is not good.
Not great. Unlike the Gardens lights, I think Christy had them cleaned because they were fantastic on Friday. It was really good. It did help that I wasn't sat in a deluge though. But so they're not great. Very helpful local talk. Martin, who many of you will have seen but not realised who he is. He's always very helpful, very keen to look after his opposite number So yeah, that's good. But they are a friendly bunch down there, unlike some of them up north that we talked about last week. So hopefully I'll see a bit more of the action this week. It would be nice. And we have a good game. Again, two teams that like to play running rugby.
Yeah.
So it should be interesting. It's not on TV, so you're all buying your PRTV passes or whatever that is.
Or listening to Graham.
No, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to the Christmas traffic, but less said about that, the better. But I am looking forward to the game because I think it's going to be an absolute
There is,
belter.
Of course, a really good chip shop opposite as well.
There is. Yes, we might be partaking.
Yeah.
Bedford are just going up the road to Ampshill.
Right.
To Ampshill Field, is it? This now? Oh, they've changed its name again. The strangest rugby pitch in the championship because you have to go from the clubhouse through a forest to get to it. Very odd. And the Battle of Bedfordshire is always a battle royale. Ampshill have been fielding quite a few, talking about our Wanderers team, there have been quite a few Saracens players playing for Ampshill this season. So it could be quite a tussle this weekend.
Isn't Mo Botha? Is Mo Botha one of their coaches at Ampshill? Or was he one of their coaches?
He was. I'm not sure he still is. Certainly seen him before, but I'm not sure if he still is. Yeah. Mo has actually worked for Bedford for a bit as well, so he gets around a bit, does Mo. And then Loughborough are at home. I don't envy them this. I really don't envy them this because Exeter Chiefs lost with the last play of the game against Gloucester Hartbury or whatever they're called. And I don't think their coach was very happy. So I think it's going to be angry Exeter Chiefs wending their way up to the Gardens. So I think that's going to be a bit of a toughie for the ladies. Go well, the ladies in pink and purple.
Yes.
But unfortunately, I can't be in two places at once.
No.
So I'm going to miss that one. That's going to be a bit of a tough one. We will be back in Christmas week, will we, Mrs. Saunders? Will we?
Don't see why not.
Yeah, we'll do a review of the games that happen this weekend.
Yes.
And then we're into New Year.
Yes. Well, we've got the visit of Sale, haven't we? Before we get final game of the year.
Yes.
Home at the Gardens.
Yes, and then we're in the second half of the season, which is just remarkable.
Yes.
We wish everybody a peaceful and happy Christmas.
Yes, we do indeed.
Enjoy your rugby this week.
Yeah, and we will.
Thank you again for listening to the pod. Please subscribe. Any questions or comments?
Can I just a quick catch up on Toaster Under Nines? Didn't have a game.
Sorry, yes.
I know. Went to MMA place in Northampton, so I was intrigued whether they were going to come back as ninjas, but apparently they were learning to tackle and be tackled properly. So no, none of this. And they had a thoroughly nice time and learned how to fall and be tackled. So they'll be demons next year. And walking rugby is on a break for Christmas. We didn't go last week because we got colds, and there's other people who couldn't go because they were exacerbated old injuries and stuff. I think this is the problem I see an inherent problem with walking rugby, that, you're not fit enough to do running rugby. So, yeah, it's, and you're old. But anyway, that walking rugby.
Well, you're all loving it.
Absolutely. It's so much fun. So that starts again in January. Please come along. I'm sure Saints will put up a link to it. It is a barrel of fun. I've not laughed so much since we beat Saracens. Really.
Yep. Last but not least, we should mention the wheelchair rugby guys who are up in Sheffield this weekend with a very development team. Well done, lads and lasses. It was a tough ask, and you've learnt loads. There was lots of happy exchanging of messages on the WhatsApp group.
Good.
They didn't win any of their games, but they learnt bucket loads of stuff. It's a brand new squad. Some established players, but by and large people. Some of them who had never played a competitive game of wheelchair rugby. Wow. So well done, everybody. You've earned your break over Christmas.
Yeah.
And you'll be back in the new year with the WR5s. Which I think the first weekend is in Sunderland.
Oh, great.
So, yeah, a long way to go. So, so everybody have a lovely Christmas, peaceful Christmas, and
play up and play the game.
And don't,
and we will regroup.
Play the game. Too many ball games, but there you go.
Yes.
And we'll see you soon.
We'll regroup after Christmas. Bye, everybody.
We reboot after. Bye, everybody.